Hello class. Our discussion for this day is about investment in associate. So when we say investment in associate, this gives the holder significant influence over the operating and financial policies of the investees are accounted for the investors' consolidated financial statement using the equity method. So dito po pumapasok yung sinasabi nating equity method. So later on, discuss natin kung ano ba ibig sabihin ng equity method. So dito, we have the IES 28 that applies to all investments in which an investor has a significant influence but not control or joint control, except for the investment held by a venture capital organizations, mutual fund, unit trust, and similar entities that are designated under IAS 39 to be at fair value with fair value changes recognized in profit or loss. So, yan po yung mga iba't ibang klase ng investment po natin. Diba? So, andyan si PAT2C or financial asset through OCI, and we have the PAT-PL, the financial asset through profit or loss. So, magkaiba po yun. Okay? So, let's discuss first the different definitions. We have associate. When we say associate, an entity in which an investor has significant influence but not control or joint control. So, associate po tawag natin. And we have what we call the significant influence. So, the power to participate in the financial and operating policy decisions but not to control them. And also, we have the equity method, a method of accounting by which an equity investment is initially recorded at cost and subsequently adjusted to reflect the investor shares of net assets of the associate or the investee. So, mapapansin natin dito, sinabi niya dito na ang ating initial measurement ay recorded at cost, and then subsequently, ginagamit natin yung ating equity method. So, paano ba natin masasabi na meron kang significant influence? So, a holding of 20% or more of the voting power directly through subsidiaries. So, 20 to 50 to, no? So, pag sinabi natin 50% more than, yun na po yung tinatawag natin control. So, pag 20 to 50, may significant influence ka, so it will indicate significant influence unless it can be clearly demonstrated otherwise. So, sir, pwede palang hindi? Yes. Okay. So, if the holding is less than 20%, the investor will be presumed not to have significant influence unless such influence can be clearly demonstrated. So, hindi naman, okay, pag less than 20%, presume or automatic, walang significant influence. Pero, pwede pa rin. Okay? Pwede siyang magkaroon ng significant influence unless, sabi niya dyan, clearly demonstrated. Okay? So, the existence of significant influence by an investor is usually the evidence of one or more of the following ways. Okay? So, yung mga evidence. Una, representation on the board of directors or equivalent to governing body of the investee, participation in the policy-making process, material transactions between the investor and the investee, interchange of managerial personnel, and we have also the provision of the essential technical information, potential voting rights are a factor to be considered in deciding whether may significant influence. Okay. So, in its consolidated statement, an investor should use the equity method of accounting for investment in associates. Ulitin ko po, equity method po ang ginagamit. Other than in the three following exceptional circumstances. Okay, equity method, except for, okay, an investment in associate held by a venture capital organizations or mutual funds. So, ibig sabihin, upon initial recognition, this is held for trading under IAS 39 or those investments are measured at fair value with fair value changes recognized and P&L. Okay? An investment classified held for sales in accordance with the PFRS 5 or RFRS 5. A parent that is exempted from preparing consolidated financial statements by paragraph 10 of IAS 27 by prepare separate financial statement as its summary or primary financial statement in those separate statements. Okay, so the investment in associate may be accounted for the cost method under IAS 39. Pwede po siyang maging cost method kapag separate financial statement po yung ating i-prepare. Okay. So, an investor need not use the equity method if all of the following four conditions are met. Okay, or met, diba? The investor itself is wholly owned subsidiary or partially owned subsidiary. of another entity to its other owners, including those not otherwise entitled to vote, have been informed about and do not object to. The investor not applying the equity method. Pangalawa, the investor debt or equity instrument are not traded in public. Okay? Pag hindi po siya tinitrade at public, okay, hindi po siya gagamit ng equity method. The investor did not file, nor is it the process of filing its financial statements with the Securities Commission or other regulatory organizations for the purpose of issuing any class of instrument in public market. So, in short, hindi siya public market. And number 4, the ultimate or any intermediate parent of the investor produces consolidated financial statements available for the public use that comply the international financial reporting standards. So, yan po yung 4 na kailangan ma-met niya kung hindi gagamit, did not use the equity method. If all, di ba? Kailangan lahat. Next. Okay? So, una, we have applying for equity method. So, isa-isahin natin. Una, distribution and other adjustment to carrying amount. So, ano ba ibig sabihin niya? So, distributions, okay, unahin natin pag may net income. Pag may net income si company, o yung pinag-investan nila, tumataas yung ating investment in associate. Okay, so increases ang net income, so therefore, ang net loss bumababa. Okay, dividends. Ang dividends po is kabawasan po yun. Okay, kabawasan po yun sa investment in associates natin. Okay, and next is adjustment of the carrying amount. Anong sinasabi natin sa adjustment of carrying amount? For example, di ba, kung bumili ka kasi ng, binili mo si, kunyari, ABC invested to B company. For example, may over or under-depreciated or undervalued equipment. Okay, sabihin natin undervalued equipment. So therefore, yung undervalued equipment natin, for example, 20,000 undervalued, tapos may remaining life siya na 5 years. So ang gagawin mo doon sa 20,000 na yun, 20,000 divided by 5, that is equivalent to 4,000 every 4,000, di ba? So annually 4,000. Yung 4,000 na yon is i-depreciate mo yon. Ibig sabihin, kung undervalued siya, dadagdagan mo yung equipment mo. Kaya, kung dinagdagan mo yung equipment mo, meaning, madadagdagan ka ng depreciation expense sa 4,000. So, yung 4,000 na yun, kabawasan yun sa income ni investee. So, babawasan mo yung income ng 4,000 ni investee. So, ina-adjust mo before mo kunin yung percentage ng sayo. So, yan po yung sinasabi ng distribution and other adjustment of the carrying amount. Pangalawa, we have the voting, potential voting rights, okay? So, all the potential voting rights are considered in deciding whether significant influence exists, okay? The investor's share of profit or loss of the investee and of the changes in the investee equity is determined on the basis of the present ownership interest. So, ibig sabihin po, kunyari, may 30% share siya, okay? So, ibig sabihin, meron siyang 30% share sa income, and then, meron din siyang 30% sa dividends. Ganun lang po yung sinasabi niya dito. Next is we have the implicit goodwill and fair value adjustment. So, nagkakaroon din tayo dito ng implicit goodwill or fair value adjustment. So, paano po? So, by comparing the considerations transferred. So, magkano mo ba siya binili? For example, binili mo daw yung 20% ng company ng 100 pesos. Ngayon, nung kinumpute mo yung 20% ng company na binili mo is 80 pesos lang pala. So, kung ibig sabihin, 100 yung pinambili mo, and then 80 pesos lang yung nabili mo, yung net asset, sobra yung pinambili mo ng 20. So, yung 20, it's either mapupunta yun sa fair value adjustment or lahat yon goodwill. Nakadepende. Okay? Kaya ibig sabihin, kung sasabihin sa problem na all things other or all other things, sabi niya, is equal na po sa fair value. Ibig sabihin yung 20 na difference, goodwill po lahat yun. Okay? So next, we have also the impairment. So under impairment naman, so na-impaired po yung ating goodwill din po dito. Okay? So the impairment indicators, recognition and measurement apply to investment in associates. So if the impairment indicated, the amount is calculated by the reference of IAS 36 or the impairment of assets. So the entire carrying amount of the investment is tested for impairment as a single asset. Okay? So ibig sabihin, as a single asset. So meaning, the goodwill is not tested separately. So the recoverable amount of the investment in an associate assessed to each individual associate. Okay, so yung ikukuha natin po, i-measure po natin. Unless, syempre, the associate does not generate cash flows independently po. Okay, so yun po yung sa impairment. So, di ba yung ating goodwill is not depreciable or amortized, tama? Pero, ang ating goodwill are tested for impairment po siya. Okay? So, dyan pumapasok sa impairment. Next is discontinuing the equity method. So, paano ba tayo nagkakaroon ng discontinuing the equity method? It's either nagbenta ka, disposal, di ba? So, pag sinabi natin mag-discontinue na tayo for equity method, is kailan? From the date na nawala din yung ating influence or significant influence. So, ano pong measurement nito? Pag nawala na po yung significant influence natin, ang measurement na po ng ating investment is magiging kung magkano yung carrying amount niya nung kailan nawala yung significant influence, yun na po yung magiging amount niya or magiging new cost basis po niya. Ulitin ko po, kung kailan nawala yung significant influence, yun din yung gagamitin nating new basis of cost niya, yung carrying amount niya at that time. Okay? And next is we have the transactions with associates. Under these items, dito pumapasok kung familiar kayo sa upstreams, downstream. Okay? So, ang keyword doon, pag upstream, pataas. So, ibig sabihin, ang nagbenta doon, si investee, papunta kay investor. Pag downstream, ang nagbenta, si investor, papunta kay investee. So, dito, ang ginagawa kasi natin, yung unrealized profit from these transactions, whether upstream or downstream, is ina-adjust natin po yung net income ng bawat isa. Okay? So, ina-adjust po natin yung mga unrealized income na tinatawag. Okay. Next is the date of the associate's financial statement. So, dito naman, pag sinabi nating date, pag nag-apply tayo ng equity method, the investor should use the financial statement of the associate as of the same date. Okay, the same date as the financial statement of the investor. Okay, unless it is impracticable to do so. Okay, so meaning dapat pareho po sila. Okay? Pero sabi niya dito, if it is impracticable, okay, the most recent available financial statement of associate should be used with adjustment made for the effect of any significant transactions or events occur between the accounting period ends. Okay, so ibig sabihin, pag impracticable po siya, ang pwede po natin gamitin is the most recent available financial statements. Okay, next we have the associates accounting policies. Pag sinabi naman natin accounting policies, kailangan po yung accounting policies ng ating associate from the investors is should be adjusted. Okay, kunyari magkaiba sila. If the associate's accounting policy is different from investors, it should be adjusted to reflect the investors' accounting policies for the purpose of applying equity method. So magiging dapat ina-adjust po natin siya. Okay? Next is losses in excess of investment. So dito po, kung mapapansin ninyo, di ba, pag tuloy-tuloy po na nagkakaroon ng loss si investing, as investor po, tumitigil po tayo nagre-recognize ng loss pag na-zero na po yung investment natin. Pero yung negative, di ba, hindi na po natin i-record yun, pero di-disclose natin siya, di ba, na may negative. So, pag nagkaroon na ng income si investing, doon din tayo magre-recognize ng income kapag na-zero out na or nag-exist na sa zero yung ating i-recognize. For example, may negative 30 ka, di ba, dahil nag-loss, di ba, dahil nag-loss. Ngayon, tumigil ka sa kaka-recognize ng loss. Pero kailangan, before ka mag-recognize ng income, make sure na yung income, pag nagkaroon na ng income, is masosurpass niya muna yung loss na hindi mo na ni-record. Okay? So, that's the time ka lang na magre-record ka lang ulit ng income. Okay, kapag nag-more than or nag-zero ka na, tapos meron ka ng, or may income na sa investing. Okay, pero pag loss is dire-diretso, pag na-zero ka na, hindi mo na-recognize yung ibang loss muna. Okay? So, next, partial disposal of associates. For example, you have 30% and binenta mo yung 10%. So, you still have 20%, hindi pa naman nawala yung significant influence mo. So, paano tayo mag-recognize? Yung 10% po na binenta mo is kung compare mo yung carrying value nun, kukunin mo yung carrying value nun, saka yung pinambentahan mo. Ngayon, yung difference ng pinambentahan mo tsaka yung carrying value ng binenta mo is mapupunta po yun sa ating, okay, sa P&L po. I-recognize mo po yun sa P&L. Okay? So, next po tayo is we have the separate financial statements of the investor. So, under this item, equity accounting is required in the separate financial statement of the investor, even if consolidated accounts are not required. So, for example, because the investor has no subsidiaries, but equity accounting is not required where the investor would be exempt from preparing consolidated financial statements under IAS 27, di ba? So in the circumstances, instead of equity accounting, the parent would account the investment either at cost or in accordance with IAS 39. Okay? Kung sa parent relationship yan, di ba? Okay. So, next tayo is example. Okay. So, for example, Glorious Company acquired 40% interest in Associate Alta Company for 5 million on January 1, 2018. At the acquisition date, there were no difference between fair value in the carrying amount of the identifiable assets and liabilities. Alta Company reported the following net income and cash dividends for 2018 and 2019. So the following transactions occurred between Glorious Company and Alta Company. On January 1, 2018, Alta Company sold an equipment 500,000 to Glorious Company for 800,000. Okay, so sino ba si Alta? Si Alta, siya po sino siya? Okay, so siya si investee, di ba? Ang investor dito ay si Glorious po. So, ibig sabihin, yan po ay considered upstream. So, Glorious Company applied 10% straight line depreciation. On July 1, 2019, Alta Company sold an equipment for 900,000 to Glorious Company. And the carrying amount of the equipment is 500,000 at the time of sale, and the remaining life of the equipment is 5 years. And Glorious Company used the straight line depreciation. So, December 1, 2019, Alta Company sold an inventory to Glorious Company for 2.8. Okay. So, question. Okay, for question number 1, tinatanong tayo for investment income for 2018. So, for 2018, ang investment income po natin, we have, mag-start po tayo dun sa net income na 2 million. Okay? And then, for the 2 million, guys, alam mo, noong January 2018, Alta Company sold an equipment costing 500,000. Okay. Meaning, kung nagbenta siya ng 500,000, si Alta nag-recognize siya ng net income or additional income na 300,000. Sa 2 million na to, nakapaloob yung 300,000 na tinatawag nating gain. Pero kasi, ika-cancelled out natin yun kasi parang binentahan, di ba parang kung isipin mo, okay, binenta mo lang naman din sa kamag-anak mo. Okay? Ngayon, pag kukumpitin yung income nyo as buong kamag-anak, hindi naman talaga tumaas. Diba? Tama? Hindi naman tataas talaga ng 300,000 yun. Okay. So, anong gagawin mo doon? Sa net income mo, pag nag-net income ka, papunta kay parent or intercompany sales na tinatawag, kung equipment yan, kailangan is i-depreciate or amortize din natin siya kung ilan pa yung buhay ng equipment. Okay? So, ilan pa ba yung buhay ng equipment? So, hindi sinabi. Pero alam mo na 10% straight line depreciation ang gamit. Okay? So, meaning, tag 10% yon. Okay. Kung nag-recognize ka ng 300,000 na net income, ang gagawin mo doon, ang dapat lang na income mo doon is yung 10% pa lang. So, kukunin mo yung 300,000 times 10%, dapat 30,000. Tama? Pero ang na-recognize mo, 300. So, ang gagawin mo, from 2 million, ibabawas mo yung 270,000. Sir, bakit po? Kasi hindi mo pa i-recognize, okay? I-amortize pa natin or i-depreciate pa natin yun for 10 years. So, ang gagawin natin muna, before natin kunin yung share niya sa income, i-adjust muna natin siya. Tanggalin muna natin yung upstream sales unrealized income. So, 2 million minus 270. Pero yung solution natin dito, inalis niya muna lahat yung 300,000 at in-add back niya yung 30,000. Pero pwede naman na 2 million minus 270. So, magkakaroon tayo ng 1,730,000. So, this is the adjusted net income. And after that, is pwede mo nang i-times yan sa percentage share niya, which is 40%. So, 1,730 times 40%. So, therefore, the investment income for 2018 is 692,000. Okay? And next. Okay? Next tayo. Next question. Investment income for 2019. So, for 2019, start here from 3 million. Okay? Tatanggalin natin yung nagbenta na naman ng 400,000 or 900 to 500. So, may gain dyan na 400,000. So, before that, pakialaman muna natin yung 2018. So, since 2018, ito magtutuloy-tuloy ito hanggang 2028. Diba? Kaya ibig sabihin, from 2018 to 2028, magre-recognize siya ng additional 30,000 na income. And next is, nag-recognize ulit siya ng 2019 ng income na or gain na 400,000, which is sabi natin, pag intercompany sales, dapat i-amortize according to the remaining life of the equipment. So, from 900,000 minus 500,000, so that is 400 divided by 5, so 100,000 per year. Eh, yun nga lang, July 1 na yan. So, kalahati lang. So, 100,000 times kalahati, that is 50, or magkano yun? So, 400 divided by 5, 400 divided by 5, kwan pala yun guys, 80,000, tama? So, divided, kalahati ng 80,000 is 40,000. So, nag-recognize ka ng 400,000, eh dapat 40 lang. So, babawasan mo siya ng 360,000. Okay, next. On December 1, 2019, Alta Company sold an inventory to Glorious for 2.8. Okay, nagbenta daw siya December 1, 2019, 2.8. So, magkano ba yung cost nito? Ang cost nito, guys, hindi ata na isama, no? Ang cost nito ay 2 million. Okay? So, kung ang cost nito ay 2 million, ibig sabihin kung wala pang nabibenta dito, tatanggalin natin, okay? Tatanggalin po natin yung 2 million na cost para makuha natin yung kanyang profit or unrealized profit. So, 2.8 minus 2 million, okay, so makukuha natin yung 800,000 na unrealized profit. So, kung wala pang nabibenta po si Glorious Company, lahat po yung 800,000 na i-recognize muna natin unrealized profit. So, therefore, kung unrealized profit yung 800,000, okay, ang gagawin po natin is ganito po. Okay? Ibabawas din natin yung unrealized profit for ending inventory. So, para ma-solve natin ang adjusted net income from 3 million, dagdag natin yung 30,000 na galing 2018, and bawas natin yung 360,000. So, ang ginawa lang ng problem, guys, nagbawas siya ng 400, and nagdagdag siya ng 40. Net effect, yan po yung sinasabi kong 360,000 kanina. And ibabawas din natin yung unrealized profit sa ending inventory kasi wala pa naman siyang nabibenta. Kaya lahat ng 800 na markup niya is unrealized pa. Kaya ang adjusted net income natin ay 700 or 1,870,000. Kunin natin yung 40%, so magkakaroon tayo ng 748,000. So dito guys, sa pag-compute ng income or adjusted net income, please make sure na alam mo kung upstream ba siya or downstream. Kasi kung upstream or kung downstream to guys, hindi na maapektuhan yung net income natin. Ang maapektuhan na net income is net income mismo ng investor. Hindi na natin i-adjust yung net income ni investee. Okay, sa investor na i-adjust natin kung ito ay downstream. Okay, for question 3, tinatanong tayo, what is the carrying amount? Pag carrying amount guys, please always take note. Ang ginagawa natin dito is from carrying cost or acquisition cost, which is 5 million, idadagdag lang natin yung investment income or minus investment or minus loss, kung loss yan, and minus natin yung cash dividend. Yung cash dividend, guys, okay, buo po yung binabawas natin. So, 800,000 times 40%. Sir, kung natin binili natin ng July, yung sa problem, binili ng July. Pero may dividend po na 800,000. Sir, do we need to proportion the dividends into 6 months? No. Okay, yung dividend na po yun is babayaran or binayaran ka ng buo. So, ang gagawin mo doon, 800,000 times 40%. So, yun ay proportion ko lang. Ang i-proportion mo lang is kunin mo lang yung 6 months income na kung saan ka nakatapak. Okay, pero yung sa dividends, buo na po yun. Kaya ang carrying amount natin dito is 5372. Same with carrying amount for 2019, from 5372, yun na po yung gagamitin natin. Dagdag lang natin yung income from 2019, 748, and bawas natin yung dividends po na 400,000. Okay? So, for example, nung yung susunod na taon, binenta mo yung kalahati. Okay? So, ang gagawin mo lang, pag binenta mo yung kalahati, ang pagbabasihan mo na is yung 5,720. Divided mo, kunin mo yung 50% dyan, yan yung i-compare mo doon sa pinagbentahan mo. So, ganun lang po si investment in associate. Mahalaga lang na alam mo kung paano mag-adjust ng income. Okay? Dapat alam mo kung upstream or downstream siya. Okay? Inventories, ang nire-recognize natin or ang binabawas natin is yung mga unrealized muna. Okay? And after that, kunin natin yung share ni investor. Okay? Pag nakuha na yung share ni investor, is ibabawas natin yung dividends naman para makuha yung carry. So that's the investment in associates, everyone. So that ends our topic. So magpapa-assignment na lang po ako sa book ninyo para mas makapag-practice kayo in terms of investment in associates. So thank you guys.